Hey Sean, I got your email regarding the 45-degree elbows and changes in elevation, and I figured it's probably easier just to show you how to do that rather than having to type it all out. So I'm going to take some 6-inch pipe with an 8.5-inch drop with two 45-degree elbows, and we'll make sure that we have a 5-inch spool piece in between. So let me show you how to set that up. Now this view is our plan view and this view is our section view. This isn't necessary. It's more here to get some practice and to figure out what's going to be happening and how to, set up the takeouts and everything on it. So that's why I have that there. So this is going to be used as an example to figure out how to set this up properly. So let's start with the plan view. So here's the easy part. I'm going to have this pipe running at 10-foot elevation. I'm going to have this 5-foot length as my 45-degree pipe that's pitched, and then this pipe over here will be the new pipe at the new elevation, and we're going to use an annotation here to determine what that elevation is. So pink indicates that it's an annotation saying we want to know what the new value is. Orange is a value telling the computer this is what we want here, and then again this is where it's going to pitch. So I'm going to type in, or actually I'm going to type in the command for, or start the command for sloping pipe, and I'm going to tell it's a 1-to-1 slope. I'm going to pick my defining points from here to here and exit, and let's make a 3D model of this, and I'm going to view it from here. Ignore that stuff below, but let's go to a front view of this, and you notice I pick it first, then pick the view, and in that way it doesn't zoom extents each time. So that just shows that our pipe is pitched. I'm going to orbit around here, and you can see that it is pitching around, so that's good. I'm going to drop it to 2D, and that also updates this value to show us that it's at the new pipe is at 5 foot in elevation. Now I need to show, so that takes care of part of it. Now the other thing I want to do is I want to make sure that I have a pipe that's changing, that I want to show my 45-degree grooved couplings in here. So I'm going to use this pipe to do that. Let's first delete all of the yellow circles. So I'll type in DL to delete all in the layer. I'll pick the yellow circle, and that gets rid of everything. And now I need to, show my pipe drop of 8.5 inches instead of a 5-foot drop here. So let's do this. I'm going to select my coupling setup. I'm going to select here, couplings, and I'll tell it it's 45 6-inch. I'll click OK, and I'll now break in an elbow T, because again we're not using 90 degree elbow T, we're using 45, so that means it's different takeouts here. That's important that you set that up properly. So we'll set those up, and that shows that we've broken in our two values. I'll delete that, and you said that you wanted a 5-inch spool piece between these. So let me draw a new pipe. I'll pick on main. I'll start from here. My ortho's on, so I don't want my ortho on. I'll turn that off, and I want my polar tracking on, so I'll turn on polar tracking, and now I can go here, type in 5, hit enter, and then right click to finish. And now I'll move this whole section from this endpoint to this endpoint right here. And I have Control Z. What happened to my 5? Oh, sorry. Yeah. From this endpoint to this endpoint right there. Okay, good. So now I have my pipe. I will size it just because, and you can see that we have our 5-inch spool piece in here. Now what's important is we have to readjust this length when we break it in up here. I'll show you what we're going to do and how to get that value. So I'm going to change my current layer to the interference layer. I'll do a dimension linear, and I'll do a linear dimension from here to there, and that tells it that even though this pipe is 3.5 inches long on the pitch, on this plan view it's going to be a 2.5-inch length. Let's do the same for this one. I'm going to pick here and here, and our 5-inch spool piece on the pitch is 5 inches, but on the slope it's going to be, or on the flat it's going to be 3.5 inches. So we'll keep those two values in mind when we break this in over here. I'm going to erase this pipe. Actually, I'm not going to erase it. Let's undo that. Let's get rid of the pitch. Delete that, and yeah, let's do that. So I'm still set up for my 45-degree elbows and tees, so I'll pick 45 elbow tee, and I'll break one in over here, and I'll break one in over here. Okay, I'll get rid of this, and now I'm going to adjust this length and distance so that it's 2.5 inches based off this instead of 3.5. So I'm going to select all of this stuff. I'm going to grab this grip and I'll move it in 1 inch. 1, enter, and now it's 2.5 inches long, or it should be. WL, pick on this, and that's 2.5 inches. Good. Let's do the same on this side. And I know some of you guys are saying, hey, George, you forgot something. That's all good. I'll fix it in a second. And then now WL, and this is showing up as 2.5 inches. So for the people who were whose eyes were twitching that I didn't fix this, this pipe, this dimension should be at this midpoint of the pipe. No problem. UPL, enter, pick this dimension, and I'll right click, and 2 pipes were fixed, and now that pipe dimension is on the midpoint of the pipe, and it's showing 2.5 inches, so we're good. The other thing I want to do now is I want to draw a pipe that's 3.5 inches long to ensure that I have my spool piece in here. So I'm going to go from here and 3.5, enter. I'll move this whole section over, so move all of this from this endpoint to this endpoint. So unfortunately, this is the way we have to do it because we're doing everything in 2D. So we're just kind of stuck with it. So just kind of keep that in mind. Okay, so now that's 3.5 inches. I will MVA, so move attribute. I'll grab this and move it just north from there. So now it's not sitting right on top. Good. Now we have to just break in show a pitch from this endpoint to this endpoint. So basically from the middle of the 45 here to the middle of the 45 here is where we're going to show our new sloping pipe. 1/1, pick defining points from, and I'm going to go from here to there. All right, looks good. So now I have that pitch showing the 45, and now that everything's all set, I will show 3D, and I have to type properly, show 3D, enter. And now we have our pitch pipe. This is at 10-foot elevation. This should be at 9 foot 2.5, 1.5, 9.3, 1.5. Yeah, I think you'll have to trust me. Yeah, 9.3. Yeah, 8.5 inches. Yep, that's correct. Okay, good. So show 2D. So now we have the coordination side of things done, as well as the couplings broken and all that other stuff. So we're good to go with this. Now the only thing to do is to list it and to ensure that we get our 45s, our 4 plus 5 plus 6 couplings, our 2 caps, and our 2 grooved 45s. So we have to just make sure we set that up. In the past, we used to have to put overrides here and put an override at this intersection right here. We don't have to do that anymore. I'm just going to set up a new listing tag. So I'm going to pick on new tag. I'll select main F is fine, and I'm making sure that I'm set to firelock elbows and tees with, doesn't matter about the outlets because we don't have any. Pick on that, pick there. I'm going to start my auto list process, and I'll tell it it's called 45L. We'll click OK. Get rid of my practice one. Get rid of this. It's still sitting there, so I'll get rid of that later. All right, it didn't like something. So let's see what it didn't like. I'm going to hover over this, and it says takeout expected doesn't match the takeout. So I have a feeling that it didn't like this, but we may be in good shape here because I am noticing something here. I'm going to first, so again, this error, if I hover over it, it says the takeout of the fitting doesn't match the takeout expected for a firelock 45 elbow. If you remember, the takeout for a 45 elbow is supposed to be 3.5 inches. I'll type in CEL here, and I'll do a PF on the pitch. So PF. Okay. The takeout for a 45 is 3.5 inches. it says, hey, I found a 45 here, but the takeout doesn't match what it should be. And usually there's a tolerance of about a ½ inch. It saw this side and says, it's supposed to be 3.5 inches, but I'm seeing 2.5 inches. That's because it's on the pitch. So that's what these errors are referring to. So I'm going to delete that error, and I'm going to delete that error because there were 2 of these, right? So we'll not worry about that. Now, the other thing I'm noticing here is my center to center length is 5 inches for my spool piece. I'm going to type in CUL to see what my cut length is, and we're hoping for the same. It is. It's the same. It's 5 inches, so that's a good sign. And all of these takeouts for our grooved elbow are 0, so that's a good sign as well. So I want to say this worked. Even though we got those 2 warnings, I want to say this worked. Let's go back to Hydra List. I'll go into my Mains tab. I'll double click on Main F. F.1 is 9'8". F.2 is 5 inches. That's our spool piece. F.3 is our 9'8.5". So that looks good. Let's go count our fittings. Go to miscellaneous, double click that. I'll answer yes for now. Doesn't matter because there's nothing shows up. I said that there were supposed to be 2 caps. Here they are. I said there were supposed to be 2 Firelock couplings. I'm sorry, 2 Firelock 45s. And I said there were supposed to be 6 couplings. And there they are. So it looks all good. So again, the key thing is, I'll close this. The key thing here is that we had to tweak CEL. We had to tweak these lengths. We had to kind of fix them so that they showed up as what they should be on the pitch, not on the flat. And I think by doing that, you're able to elevate it to 3D properly and run a stock list on it. I hope it helps. Again, we don't have to worry about this. It's all junk or test stuff. And I think this helps, or I hope this helps. And if you have any questions, let me know. Thanks.